she makes eye contact with you. She knows everything about who you are. She knows your life. She feels everything about your experiences and basically goes, you're not alone in the world, and makes you feel better.
Yes. And in order for him to like really show that to the audience, he has this awesome scene where she first gets the kind of power where this, like, you know, this cardinal comes in and looks at her, and it seems to transfer like almost telepathically, like this empathy. And she becomes this hyper empathetic person, goes into the newsroom where she's late. So there's this kind of chaos where the camera's following her go from room to room to get ready. And then as she's doing that, she can't help but be kind of almost like magnetically forced to go into people's spaces and go like, well, what's wrong with you? I think I can help. And she helps like 5 different people before finally getting
she'll
onto
literally
the
just
news.
walk up to you and you're like, we're about to have a work conversation. And she's like, you should really tell him that you love him.
Yeah. And they know what she's talking about, but we as an audience member don't. We never get those contexts, but we just know that she's hyper empathetic and channeling something to them that only they understand. It's great. And I love,
she's
again,
like
Spielberg
reading your mind and walking you through like the deepest thing that's on your mind and in your heart in that very moment, and it just like immediately drops them. And it's like, again, it's meant to be like this disarming moment of connection.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like that's ultimately.
And Spielberg just seamlessly taking the camera through the space, and it really also, I think, helps with,
and Emily Blunt having honestly some good like comedic timing.
Yeah,
like the fact that so many
great.
of them, they're so surreal in the moment when they first start happening that you kind of laugh. You're kind of like, what?
And it gives you that space because of the lack of cutting in that, where it's just following her in one take, because she's talking to different people in several different languages and with several different problems. You automatically get this idea of the flow state that she's in. And because if it was hyper cut that way of like, I don't know, a montage of her doing it, it just wouldn't feel the same in the sense that it's everyone that she runs into. It's not just things that pop up like a vision or something. It's something that she can't help anymore. It's just part of her. And she even eventually starts to talk about how she feels like she finally belongs. Like this was something that she's been looking for. And she finally feels like this was the significant moment in her life that will define her. So there's kind of almost this, it feels like a spiritual element to it as well with her.
Yeah. And the moment where she starts like talking in math, and Josh O'Connor is the only one on the news who can like hear her, because she's like a weather woman who goes on to try and make some sort of news report that she's going to be doing. And this stuff for me was really, really intriguing. And I think that was what ultimately led me to kind of feel like a little let down by the time we got to the end. I really do think it was because I found this stuff so intriguing, and like I found the mystery intriguing, that by the time the details of it were all revealed to me, that was kind of when I went, oh, okay. All right, that's it. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And
that was like my real-time reaction to it, even though I, for the most part, like actually enjoyed the experience of watching the movie.
Me too. And I'm interested if any of my anticipation has something to do with it. And so it will be a film that I'm probably going to go back to a couple times this year, just to see how I change about knowing where it goes. The certain ideas that both, I guess, Kep and Spielberg have. I don't know how much, what side the pendulum swings when it comes to the ideas and the writing of some of the stuff. I think the majority of it does work, and there is maybe a bit of almost an overly optimistic viewpoint. And especially nowadays, I think I have seen a lot of reviews kind of try to wrap their heads around having this kind of hope that if something were to be revealed, like aliens, for instance, that we would all of a sudden be unified and stop what we're doing, and we wouldn't like turn it into a partisan political fucking war, like through the culture or whatever.
I don't even know if I mind if like I don't even know like someone being that blindingly optimistic, I could see as reading as like sweet and like romantic. Totally. And I think there's a world where that really,
no way.
There's a world where that really works for me. Yeah. Like that fact that Spielberg just believes so much in the idea that like news will save the day, which is like something that no one on earth believes. Like he's so like it's so ridiculous.
I think that might be part of it, is that it at the end when he is forming this whole expose of aliens over a news station that is like they're all coordinating and working together, and it's as if there isn't also probably some giant billionaire telling them not to do that because it goes against all of the interests. It just feels like there would be more gatekeeping than what is shown in this, and maybe that's just because we have more of a cynical view of how the system works at this point. I don't know. It has been a pretty strenuous 10 years. So it's
yeah, but I mean, and that's the thing is that like, I definitely am someone who would probably say that I'm cynical. I'm someone who would prefer,
for sure.
You know, I often am attracted in movies more to misery than optimism, but I'm not completely like, you know, closed off to it. I'm susceptible. Like a movie I would compare this to that I think like gets like breaks my heart and like I find beautiful in like, you know, like a similarly kind of like how humans would react to this kind of way is Shyamalan, Signs.
Absolutely.
Like that's a movie that I find so, and also deals with the faith aspect of it as well. Like I find really, really, really moving.
And I think Signs is a little more, I think the subtlety of Signs exploring the faith is stronger than this.
That's
I think
what it is for me.
There are moments in this where I'm like,
script.
Yeah, where I'm like, you're just outright saying these ideas, and it feels like this could have been a little more abstract. You know, it's. Like,
I think Spielberg had like the broadest strokes that he relayed to Cope of like what it is that the message he wanted to send, some of the details of how he wanted to get there. And I think, I don't know if it's Spielberg's fault or if it's Cope's fault or some combination of the two, but I think Cope he's more of a literal minded screenwriter. He's a guy who writes like studio movies and he frequently writes like blockbusters.